Welcome to my channel Valuable Rare Coins because, as you know, old is gold. Some of the rarest coins worth big money could be hiding in your hands right now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch till the end. Let's dive in. First, we're diving into the remarkable story of a seemingly ordinary coin that could be hiding extraordinary value, the United States Lincoln OneCent coin from 1966. Yes, that little copper penny you might overlook could be worth a small fortune if it carries the right features. This isn't just a coin, it's a historical artifact that has captured the imagination of collectors across the world. So if you're a coin lover or simply someone who wants to learn the secrets behind valuable cents, listen very carefully, because this video could change how you look at every penny in your collection. The 1966 Lincoln cent came during a fascinating time in U.S. coinage history. The U.S. Mint had just moved away from using mint marks temporarily, so all coins in 1965, 1966, and 1967 were produced without mint marks, which makes identifying mint origin part of the intrigue. But what really sets the 1966 penny apart is not just the lack of a mint mark, but the rare and unusual errors that some of these coins carry. These errors are not only exciting to find, but they also make these coins incredibly desirable and valuable in the collector market. Among the most highly sought-after features is the doubled die obverse. This minting error happens when the design elements on the front of the coin are impressed twice at slightly different angles. On some rare 1966 Lincoln cents, doubling can be seen on the words "Liberty," "In God We Trust," or the date itself. These doubled letters and numbers are not only easy to spot under magnification, in some cases even with the naked eye, but they also make the coin dramatically more valuable. Another exciting error collectors look for is the die break or cut error, where part of the die that strikes the coin breaks off, leaving a raised, blob-like area on the coin. These flaws are entirely unique from one coin to the next, making each one a one-of-a-kind collectible. Coins with major die breaks are in extremely high demand because of their rarity and visual impact. They become prized conversation pieces for collectors who know their significance. And let's not forget about off-center strikes, struck through grease errors, and broad strikes, all of which are error types that occur during the minting process and instantly transform a standard coin into something rare. The value of these coins increases dramatically when they are preserved in high grades, so if you find one in excellent condition, it's even more special. These aren't just minor flaws, they're the keys to turning your penny into a 4- or 5-figure coin. Now, let's talk about condition, which plays a huge role in a coin's value. A rare error on a heavily worn coin might still bring in some money, but a mint-state example, especially one graded MS-65 or higher, can skyrocket in value. Coins with strong luster, clean fields, and crisp detail are the gold standard. If you have a 1966 penny with an error and it's in nearly perfect condition, you could be looking at a life-changing discovery, one that professional grading can confirm and reward. Just recently, at a major coin auction, a rare 1966 Lincoln penny featuring a bold double die and preserved in top mint state condition was sold after fierce bidding. Collectors were captivated by its clarity, rarity, and overall presentation. The final hammer price stunned everyone watching: $130,000. Yes, you heard that right, a single 1966 penny sold for $130,000. Proving once again that treasure truly does exist in the form of pocket change. So what does this mean for you? It means you should go back through your coin jars, old collections, or inherited albums and look at your 1966 Lincoln cents with fresh eyes. Examine every detail: the letters, the date, the coin's surfaces. If you see any doubling, striking anomalies, or strange raised areas, you may have something extraordinary. And if you do, don't wait. Get it graded by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC. That small investment could unlock massive value. Second rare coins, we're talking about the United States Lincoln OneCent coin from the year 1973 with the Denver mint mark, the 1973 D penny. At first glance, it may seem like just another copper cent, but don't be fooled. This coin can carry serious value thanks to unique errors and rare features that make it a high-demand treasure among numismatists. The 1973 Lincoln penny was part of a massive mintage by the Denver Mint. Over 3.5 billion coins were struck that year. But even in a sea of billions, certain coins stand out because of minting errors, condition rarity, and historical significance. These are the coins collectors crave, and the 1973 has proven it's one of those hidden gems. If you're a collector or someone fascinated by history locked in metal, this is a story you're going to want to follow closely. What truly sets some 1973 pennies apart is the presence of rare die errors, especially the highly desirable double die obverse. This occurs when the die that strikes the coin imprints the design more than once in slightly different positions. The result? Letters and numbers that appear to have a shadow, especially noticeable on Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date 1973. If you spot this doubling with a magnifying glass, you're not looking at damage, you're looking at value. Another incredible error found on the 1973 penny is the off-center strike. These errors occur when the coin blank isn't properly aligned during minting, resulting in part of the design being cut off or shifted. If you've got a penny where the design is off to one side, especially if the date is still visible, you may be holding a very rare piece. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the more collectors are willing to pay top dollar for it. And don't overlook die breaks, also known as cuds, which appear as raised lumps of metal on the coin's surface, typically near the rim. These are the result of cracks or chunks missing from the die itself during striking. Each die break is unique, making every coin with this error truly one of a kind. Collectors love these quirks, and the 1973 penny has produced some especially interesting examples. Now let's talk about what truly drives up the value condition. The grading scale used by experts like PCGS and NGC ranges from circulated coins with wear all the way to mint state 65 and above, which means the coin is in nearly flawless condition with full luster and sharp detail. When a rare error is paired with high-grade quality, the coin's value skyrockets. Collectors are constantly on the lookout for top-grade specimens because they're so much harder to find. Recently, the 1973 penny made headlines in the coin community when an example with a bold double die and near-perfect surface was sold at auction after an intense round of bidding. Experts praised its condition, rarity, and the crispness of its error, a true standout among Lincoln cents. The final sale price for that little copper treasure? A jaw-dropping $89,000. That's right, $89,000 for a single penny that many people would pass over without a second thought. This is why collectors never underestimate these classic cents. Every coin has a story, and some carry unexpected surprises that can change everything. If you have a 1973 penny, examine it closely. Use a magnifier, look at the lettering, inspect the mint mark, and check for off-center strikes or raised anomalies on the surface. If anything seems unusual, it's worth having the coin evaluated by a professional grading service. The reward could be life-changing. Third expensive coin. Thrilling dive into one of the most exciting and misunderstood coins in American numismatic history, the United States Lincoln OneCent coin from 1960. At first glance, it may seem like just another old penny, but hidden within this humble copper coin are varieties and errors so rare, so valuable, that they've made headlines and fetched jaw-dropping prices at auction. So if you're holding onto a 1960 penny, you might be holding onto a small fortune. So listen carefully, because this could change the way you see your pocket change forever. The year 1960 was a fascinating time for U.S. coin production. It was during this year that the United States Mint released two distinct date styles, the large date and the small date varieties. The differences might appear subtle to the average eye, but for collectors, this variation is everything. The small date version is especially rare in the Philadelphia minted coins, which means no mint mark under the date. These rare varieties are highly desirable and command premium prices, especially when paired with high-grade condition or certain minting errors that make them even more extraordinary. Now let's talk about what really drives collectors wild: errors and varieties. One of the most famous and valuable versions of the 1960 Lincoln cent is the small date over large date variety. This overdate error happened when a die was originally engraved with the large date, then re-engraved with the small date. The result? A visible overlap in the numerals of the date that creates a striking and rare variety that collectors are desperate to find. If you spot faint remnants of the large numerals behind the small ones, congratulations, you may be looking at an incredibly rare penny. Another amazing variety from this year is the doubled die obverse, where you can actually see slight doubling in the inscriptions like "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or even the date itself. This kind of error is caused during the die production process, and it adds significant value to the coin. And the 1960 cent is also known for repunched mint marks (RPM) in Denver minted coins. These coins show signs of the D mint mark being stamped more than once in different angles, creating a shadow effect that's highly collectible. But that's not all. There are even more eye-popping errors like off-center strikes, where the design appears shifted and part of it may be missing, or die cracks, where raised lines appear due to fractures in the minting die. Each of these errors makes your coin more unique, more valuable, and more appealing to serious collectors. Condition, as always, plays a critical role in determining a coin's value. A 1960 penny with a rare error might already be worth a nice sum, but if it's also in mint state condition, with a grade of MS65 or higher, the price can soar into the stratosphere. Coins that have never been in circulation, that still retain their luster and detail, are exactly what collectors dream of, and they're willing to pay top dollar to get them. To show you just how real this demand is, let's look at the auction world. Recently, a stunning 1960 small date over large date Lincoln cent, graded in near-perfect mint state and showcasing a bold error, shocked the coin community when it sold at auction. After a wave of bidding from collectors around the world, the final hammer price reached an astonishing $150,000. Yes, that's right, $150,000 for a single Lincoln cent that most people wouldn't look at twice. This is why we say again and again, don't ignore those old pennies. You never know which ones might hide a story, a rare feature, or a mistake from the mint that turned it into a once-in-a-lifetime collectible. Take out your magnifier, examine every 1960 cent carefully, and compare the date style. Look for any doubling, signs of mint mark repunching, or unusual striking characteristics. And if you find something interesting, get it evaluated by a professional grading service. It could make all the difference. Specially is going to open your eyes to a seemingly ordinary penny that might just be hiding extraordinary value, the United States Lincoln OneCent coin from 1977. That's right, we're diving deep into the world of a classic copper coin that many overlook, yet a select few varieties have stunned collectors and auction houses with their unbelievable prices. If you have a 1977 penny in your possession, you might be holding onto a small piece of history and potentially a coin worth tens of thousands of dollars. So, coin lovers, stay tuned, and let's uncover the secrets of this underrated gem. The 1977 Lincoln cent was minted in the millions, which makes it easy to think it's just common change, but don't be fooled. What truly elevates this coin into the realm of rare collectibles is its unique errors, varieties, and minting flaws. While most of these coins were perfectly struck and widely circulated, some slipped through the mint with striking anomalies that now make them treasures for serious collectors. These valuable differences are what transform a simple 1-cent piece into a show-stopping, high-value find that commands attention in the numismatic world. One of the most thrilling errors that collectors seek from the 1977 penny is the doubled die obverse. This minting error causes inscriptions like "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1977 to appear with a doubling effect, especially noticeable under magnification. This doubling happens during the die production phase and is completely authentic from the mint, not post-mint damage. When found in great condition, these double die examples are extremely collectible and have been known to bring in large sums at auction. Another exciting and rare error to look out for is the off-center strike. These coins were struck when the blank planchet wasn't perfectly centered under the dies, creating a coin where part of the design is missing or shifted. Off-center strikes of 10% or more are very collectible, and the higher the percentage off-center, while still showing the full date and mint mark, the more valuable the coin becomes. Combine that with a mint state condition, and you've got a coin that's highly desirable and sought after. Die cracks and die breaks are also featured in some 1977 Lincoln cents. These are raised lines or blobs of metal on the coin caused by worn or damaged minting dies. Far from being defects that reduce value, these anomalies actually increase the coin's uniqueness and appeal, especially when they are large or run across the bust of Lincoln. Collectors love these rare imperfections because no two are exactly alike, and let's not forget repunched mint marks, particularly from the Denver Mint. Some 1977 D coins show a bold D mint mark that appears to have been stamped more than once in slightly different positions. These repunched marks are a small detail, but to collectors, they can mean a big increase in value, especially when found on uncirculated examples with rich, original luster. Of course, all of this comes together under one key factor: condition. A rare 1977 penny is exciting, but if it's also in pristine, mint state condition, especially graded MS-65 or above by a reputable service, it becomes a true numismatic treasure. The best part? These coins are still out there. They might be sitting in old coin jars, tucked in drawers, or hidden in inherited collections, just waiting to be discovered by someone with a keen eye and a little bit of knowledge. And yes, collectors are paying serious money for these hidden gems. One particularly striking 1977 Lincoln Cent featuring a dramatic off-center strike and near-flawless condition was sold at auction for an astonishing $86,000. That's right, $86,000 for a coin that originally had the value of just 1 cent. These kinds of stories are what keep the thrill of coin hunting alive, because you never know which small copper coin could change everything. So, here's what to do next. Grab your magnifier, check your old coins, go through your change, and pay close attention to your 1977 pennies. Look for doubling, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, die cracks, and anything else that makes your coin look out of the ordinary. Compare what you find to images online, and if it looks promising, consider sending it in for professional grading. It could be a life-changing move. Next coin, we're going to uncover the story behind a coin that many people walk past every single day without a second thought: the United States Lincoln OneCent coin from 1980 with the Denver Mint mark. That's right, the humble 1980 D penny could be one of the most exciting and surprisingly valuable coins in your entire collection. This isn't just a piece of pocket change. This coin, in its rarest form, could be worth a staggering amount of money. So stay tuned, listen carefully, and let's explore the secrets and rarity of the incredible 1980 D Lincoln Cent. The 1980 D Lincoln Cent was struck at the Denver Mint, which produced hundreds of millions of these copper-plated zinc coins. But not all 1980 D pennies are created equal. Some carry errors and features that have pushed their value far beyond 1 cent. These varieties are considered treasures by numismatists across the world. Even though this coin was mass-produced, it's the unexpected minting errors and preservation that make a small number of them stand out and skyrocket in demand among collectors. One of the most valuable features to look for in a 1980 D penny is the double die error, particularly on the obverse side. If you examine your coin carefully and notice that letters like Liberty, In God We Trust, or even the date 1980 appear doubled or have a shadow-like effect, you may have stumbled upon a highly collectible piece. This error happens during the minting process and is not only rare but also very valuable when authenticated and graded in high condition. Another rare error that increases value tremendously is the off-center strike. If your 1980 D penny is noticeably misaligned and part of the design is missing or shifted dramatically, you've likely discovered an off-center error. The most valuable versions show around 50% of the design missing, but still clearly display the date and mint mark. These errors are considered highly attractive by collectors because they showcase a clear departure from the standard striking process, making each piece unique and desirable. Pay attention to die cracks and cuds as well. These raised lines or blobs of extra metal on the surface of the coin occur when the minting die begins to fracture or chip. While they might seem like flaws, in the collector's world, they're gold. These errors are relatively rare on 1980 D pennies, and when found in clean, uncirculated condition, they can significantly increase the value of your coin. The more dramatic and unique the die break, the more exciting the find. Repunched mint marks are another feature to look for. Sometimes, the D mint mark on 1980 pennies was stamped more than once during production, resulting in a repunched mint mark, RPM. This variety, especially when visible to the naked eye or under magnification, is a collector's dream and adds notable value to your coin. Condition is absolutely critical. If your 1980 D penny is uncirculated, with bright luster, clean surfaces, and minimal contact marks, it has a much higher chance of being worth a fortune. Coins graded MS65 and above by reputable grading companies like PCGS or NGC command top dollar at auctions. Collectors are willing to pay premium prices for coins that show these rare errors in top-tier condition. Auction results have proven just how valuable these coins can be. In recent years, high-grade 1980 D Lincoln cents with error varieties like doubled dies or dramatic off-center strikes have sold for thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars. And in one unforgettable auction, a stunning example in pristine condition and with a known error type fetched an astonishing $65,000. Yes, $65,000 for a coin you might have passed over without noticing. So if you're a collector or just someone curious about the coins in your pocket, don't ignore the pennies. Your 1980 D Lincoln cent could hold rare errors or features that make it incredibly valuable. Get a good magnifier, examine your collection, and keep an eye out for those unique characteristics that separate an ordinary coin from a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Last unique coin, we are diving into the exciting world of United States coins, and not just any coin, but the legendary 1963 D Lincoln OneCent coin. This isn't just a piece of old copper. It's a coin that has caught the attention of collectors worldwide and, in rare cases, has sold for jaw-dropping amounts of money. If you're someone who checks your change for treasure or dreams of finding that one coin worth a fortune, then this episode is just for you. At first glance, the 1963 D penny looks like any other Lincoln cent minted in Denver and struck in copper. It features the familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But what makes this coin truly fascinating is that, hidden within some of these coins, are rare minting errors and varieties that turn an everyday penny into a highly valuable collectible. These are the coins that break auction records and make headlines, and they could still be out there waiting to be discovered. Let's talk about one of the most valuable and sought-after features in this coin, the doubled die obverse. Some 1963 D cents were struck with a die that had a slight misalignment, causing the design to be imprinted twice. This doubling can be seen clearly in the inscriptions "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and even in the numbers of the date 1963. This doubling error is considered one of the most collectible in the hobby, especially when it's crisp and visible to the naked eye. Combine that with a coin in brilliant, uncirculated condition, and you're looking at a treasure worth holding on to. Another striking rarity that makes this coin so desirable is the repunched mint mark, or RPM. In the early 1960s, mint marks were still being hand-punched onto dies, and this led to several 1963 D pennies having visible repunching errors. A strong RPM, where the D appears doubled or shadowed, adds enormous value. These varieties are rare, and finding one in high grade is like striking gold. And we can't forget about off-center strikes, another minting error that transforms this humble coin into a collector's prize. If your 1963 D penny has an off-center strike, but still shows the date and mint mark, it instantly becomes far more interesting to collectors. The more dramatic the off-center percentage, the more unique and valuable the coin becomes. Die cracks and die breaks are also fascinating errors that can appear on the 1963 D penny. These raised lines and blobs of extra metal are caused by worn or damaged dies, and they make every coin unique. When found on key design areas, like across Lincoln's head or face, they're considered highly desirable because they tell the story of how the coin was minted in the real world, not just as a piece of currency, but as a work of mechanical art. Now, what really drives the value through the roof is the condition of the coin. A 1963 D penny with a rare error and a mint state grade, especially MS65 or higher, is what collectors dream of. These are the coins that show no signs of wear, no heavy scratches, and still have their original mint luster. Many of these coins have been carefully preserved in coin albums or coin rolls, just waiting to be discovered by someone who knows what to look for. To prove the incredible value of this coin, let's look at what's been happening at auctions. Some of these special 1963 D pennies with major errors and high-grade certification have fetched serious money. And one standout example, a 1963 D Lincoln Cent with exceptional condition and a rare RPM error, stunned collectors when it sold for a mind-blowing $165,000 at auction. That's right, 1 cent turned into $165,000. Imagine that being in your collection right now. So, what should you do? Start by checking your change, your old piggy banks, those jars filled with coins in the attic. Examine your 1963 D pennies under a magnifier. Look for doubling in the letters, misaligned or repunched mint marks, off-center designs, and any unusual raised lines or bumps that could indicate a die break. If you find something special, don't hesitate to get it evaluated by a professional coin grading service. It could be your lucky day. Collectors, your eyes should always be open. Even the most ordinary-looking coin can carry extraordinary value. The 1963 D penny is proof of that. And who knows? The next person to discover one of these treasures might just be watching this very video. If you found a coin like this, or you're actively searching, drop a comment below and tell us your story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update from our coin-loving community. Because you never know, that 1 cent in your collection might just be worth $165,000.